going on? And my eyeball. I'm looking back at you. So we're going to make a cute little strawberry shortcake themed Halloween pin, if you can believe it or not, with some acrylics that I have been collecting. I've got some goodies over there, but first I'm going to put together a pin holder, and I'm going to be doing that again for my Spooky Sparkles collab over in my Sparkle by Monica channel for the collaboration, but that's going to be a different type of pin holder. I want you to make sure that you check that out, and then this one. So I've got a bunch of pins and stuff that I've got to be making. I've got a lot of gifts and stuff for the holidays coming up, and I need to have pin holders. That way I've got it at the ready. And then I'm also going to be considering doing some live sales either on TikTok or maybe Whatnot, some of the other locations, but I haven't really tested any of those other ones. I've not tested TikTok or Whatnot either, but I'm more familiar with TikTok because I've purchased things through TikTok before from other sellers and stuff. So let's just see what happens on that. I'll be sure to announce that for you, but we're going to put this together, and then I'm going to make a cute little pin with my acrylics. While I'm opening this, I'm just going to give y'all a reminder, because if you're new here, maybe you've not seen my Spooky Sparkles collaboration that I try to do every year. So this is one of my sub-channels for a Facebook group that I do. It's primarily for people that are like me and they enjoy beading and jewelry making, all types of different techniques and things. And it's something that I think that if you are interested in that, you might want to join. I'll be sure to have the link below, but it's also in my channel information here if you're interested in that. But I try to pass along things that I know, give us an opportunity to talk about things that we all know so we can learn from each other. And then every year, I have this channel participate in the Spooky Sparkles collaboration. So it's a lot of fun for me. It's kind of crazy because I'm doing so many different videos, but you know, that's how I operate. I don't do things halfway. I've got these that I'm going to have to be using. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to have to use a bunch of this stuff. So we got these 3 little holders here, which eventually will hold pins. But then I've got one step. I don't know why I've only got one. So I'm going to have to look at a picture of this and refresh my memory, because I believe I'm going to need my other set. Okay, these 2 pieces were actually stuck together. So if you get one of these, because I'll have my affiliate link to Amazon below for this in case you're interested, don't let that fool you. They were stuck together, so I had to pull them apart. Now I'm going to peel off the white because it's just supposed to be clear like these little drawers, and then I'll start putting it together. This is one of the things I despise trying to do when we get those jewelry pieces that are acrylics and wood, laser. They're awesome to actually use, but trying to peel this stuff, whew, that's hard. For me anyway, I've got old eyes. So I'm going to continue to unwrap, and then we will put it together. It's supposed to be in a tier situation like this, and these will be housing the nuts and bolts, or whatever you want to call them, that I've got over here to my left. I'm going to have this over here and this over here. All right, so I'm starting out by putting the screw in there first, and then hopefully getting those lined up with the hole. I have one on, and then I'm going to put this other one on here. You're probably going to start hearing my cat screaming because she's just crazy. That is what I'm going to have to do for each side. All right, guys, this is it. All put together, 3 tiers. Got room for a bunch of pins. Now, I put the screws this way. I think you can do it either way, but I think I would prefer it to be on the outside because I don't want the inside to scratch up any of my pins. And now I'm going to put together a different contraption and show you that because it's going to be exciting. It's going to turn. This is the next one, and this is going to be the one that spins. I've got my little turntable that I could put under some of these, but I wanted to have one that specifically turned on its own should I not want to mess with that. Then I'm going to pull off the layers, and then this is the part that turns with the little bearings. Let me pull all this stuff off, and it looks like it's just going to blip, and then put these on. So hopefully it will be fairly simple. I'll eventually make it look like this. Now you have to pull the cover off of both sides before you start putting anything together. Once you've gotten all of this stuff off, then you're able to put it on. So I'm just kind of lining it up here, and that is the second spot. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 30, 30, 60, 90, 120. And if the hole, if the pin is skinny enough to go down all the way through there, then you've got, you know, the ability for it to hold the full pin, especially those that are a little bit taller. So anything like this would go through all the way more than likely. But if it's something that has that bling on there, let's use my little pins here as an example. So, see, she won't go all the way through because it's got all that rainbow bling on there. And then, let's see, strawberry shortcake won't either because she's got all that bling, but also the berries on there. In that case, I then go over here and use this pin holder to help me out with that. Or these, because, you know, they're handy. But now these are kind of short, so anything that's a big, tall pin, it's still, you kind of have to lay it off to the side. So it's a little problematic trying to hold something that's tall enough, but it still gets the job done. All right, so I have the one in the back that's holding strawberry shortcake and my rainbow bright. Then I have my spinning one here that will be filled with some good goodies. Now I'm going to go over here and show you the real sparkly part of this project for Spooky Sparkles 2025. I have some little clips here that I can use to put these cute little acrylics. Now this is a strawberry shortcake, and if you know strawberry shortcake, you should, because I think she's made a return to popularity several decades in a row now. I love her, and I have been collecting some things because I didn't get to collect any of this stuff when I was age appropriate back in the 80s. So now I'm getting all kinds of cute little things. So these have sparkles in the acrylic, which I thought was just awesome. Hopefully you can see the little sparkles when I'm moving it around in the light. And then these, I believe, actually will glow in the dark. We're going to test that out here in a little bit. When it gets a little bit darker outside and in my room, I'll turn my light off and we'll see if it really does glow in the dark. Some of those acrylics will do that, and they'll tell you specifically if they do. And I think that that is just super fun. So I hope this one really does. But if you look down here at my table, you can see some of the little sparkles are picking up the light right here, just being up under my main light, and it looks like a little bit of green, but it's actually like a rainbow looking sparkle that's in there, I think. But anyway, it's just super fun, and I'm so tickled that this had sparkle in it. A lot of these do, and they just they look different depending on what style of acrylic that you're getting. I know that the red and the orange, like strawberries, but orange and Halloween and kind of stuff doesn't go together, and she's holding a little black kitty instead of Custard, her pink kitty. But we're going to make it work because this is very spooky vibes, and it's so apropos for the Spooky Sparkle collab, guys. I picked some pins that have the kind of a Halloween-y vibe to them already, so that's what I'm going to do. But now this is going to be the first time that I am using an acrylic to create a pin, like a focal, instead of the silicone focals that I've been used to using. And there's several different ways that we can do this. Either you can use your E6000 or some other sort of glue, like a Gorilla Glue or Super Glue or something, to just glue it straight onto like a bead, or if you want to put it onto a spinner or a clip. So I have a lot of those, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about so that you can kind of see, and then I'm going to put one together. Okay, so there are several different ways that we can attach these that I've seen other people using, and I have several of them here, not all of them. There's a Velcro sticker that you can use, and it's like a round sticker that it looks like this, but it's got the Velcro on it so that you can put one part on the back of the acrylic itself, and then the other part on a badge reel, or like if you've got a large cube bead. There's also apparently several different types of badge reels. This one is perhaps one that most of you all have seen, where it just is a clip, and it'll clip onto your shirt or your belt buckle, your pants, your pocket of your pants or whatever, and then it clips onto whatever your badge is that you're trying to keep hold of, and then you can pull to do whatever, like if you're swiping your badge or something like that and you need to clip to you at all times, well, you can put the acrylic on the front of that, and then there you go, you're all decorated. Now, you'd be able to pull and do everything as typical. Say that you've got one of these that's got very spooky vibes, but maybe you're not going to feel spooky year round, right? But you only want to have one badge reel. That would be a good example of having the Velcro. So you put the sticker, that's the Velcro sticker, on there. That way you've always got that part of the Velcro there, and then how many ever that you're going to be changing out of your acrylics, then you just pull it right off. Now, I don't have that yet. I'm getting those, and I'm going to test them out because all of these are a new process for me, but I just really wanted to see or show you the badge reel. Then there's another version, And y'all have seen me do these before because, or well, most of you have. If you're new here, you haven't. On my Sparkle by Monica channel, I've shown some pins, as well as I have here, where they have the badge reel, but it's attached to an actual pin. So you can sign, which this would be my favorite thing. Whenever I worked at the colleges, this would have been extremely handy for me to have something like that just clipped on. Now, I don't typically wear shirts that have pockets, so I would probably just put it on my belt loop or something like that, or my front pocket, but I would have that available, a beaded pin. And again, this would be something where you attach your acrylic. How cute is that? There would be beads here, of course, and be able to use that you could just kind of switch these out. You know, maybe you feel like strawberry spooky one day, and then the next day you are feeling like your Snow White, spookiest of them all. I mean, aren't these the cutest thing? So that is one option. However, you know, I've been just going down this rabbit hole here ever since I've discovered these cute little things. The other part to this that I absolutely love are spinners, which are these little things. And several of the vendors that I've been getting them from have like pink spinners, these clear ones, and white ones. I haven't seen any in black yet anywhere. You will glue is what I've heard is the best thing. So similar to how this turns on those bearings down there. So that's what's going on here. So that I can't do it while I'm holding on to this. That you want the part that pops out is what you're gonna have onto your spinner here, and see how it just kind of turns very easily. I would glue that, so that means that would be permanent. Now, you could put this to a Velcro, and you could also use like a sticker. Now, this is just a regular sticker. This isn't Velcro. So that sticker would then go onto my acrylic, or I'm sorry, it would go onto whatever the contraption is, and then I could have this then with another sticker onto the acrylic, so I wouldn't have to use glue. But a lot of people just prefer to use glue on those spinners because, you know, it's gonna get wild there with the spinning activity. But I've got several of these pin form badge reels. I've got a ton of the just regular badge reels that you can clip to an ID holder. So here are some examples. It's what attaches to the badge reel for your ID. So I've got like a red glittery teach. I've got this kind of an aqua greenish looking color. It's not really teal, but it's got glitter in it for an RN. This is a red glittery nurse. And this one I just found, but this is strawberry shortcake. And I guess you could put your name on here if you wanted to, but this is just something cute because I like strawberry shortcake. For this example here, let's just grab a nurse. So this is green. Can you see that glitter? Isn't that cute? So, I mean, just using that in and of itself would be great. You take your badge reel, and it just kind of goes right through that little slit, and along with whatever your other ID is. So there's your badge, right? And then let's say, boom. Look at that. Isn't that cute? I just love it. But now this is an example of, does an RN want to have a berry spooky vibe strawberry shortcake all the time? Probably not. So after Halloween is over, you might want to have that Velcro and go and then pop something else on. But I don't have an example of something else just right at the moment. So, you know, imagine that has your Velcro and you can change that out. If you have the little spinners and whatnot, then you've got movement on there if you're like a fidget spinner kind of a gal or guy. But it's a really cute idea there. And then of course you can use this to clip onto your pocket or whatever you're doing to get your ID showing. Since I was getting so much strawberry shortcake and everything, I was kind of leaning towards like, you know, blood red for nurses and doctors and all that stuff. But then I got some that were teacher oriented. So I do have some, and I've got pink, of course. But if you're interested in any of those, let me know, and I can maybe do a separate video of that. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do that all on my Sparkle by Monica channel or not. So another example I heard someone do is they just used one of these cube style beads. I'm going to pull out the orange and the green since that's what we're dealing with here. But they used that to put a spinner on, so it would go directly onto their bead bar. I thought that was a pretty cool idea. They also have these clip options, which I'll pull one out. This is something that you would put onto your bead bar of the pen. And then I can put on some beads, but when I want to put the acrylic thing, this is what goes onto the bead bar. In between whatever beads, or you could do it at top, since once you put this on, there's really no way to get a bead up under this or up under that. And then you can have that directly on the bar itself rather than trying to glue it to a bead. But then others will put it on the bead. They would put the spinner directly on that cube, and then but you'd have to glue it or put a sticker on there, and then you could spin from the cube itself. But I'm going to put my strawberry pen together and see what you guys think, because you've been waiting for so long, but I just get excited, don't I? Alrighty, so I put one of these little round stickers on the back of one of my spinners. The sticker backing off, if I can get hold of it. I want this to show, so let's put it on right there. Now, because I can move these beads around when I take this lid off, if I decide that I want to change this up, I can do that. But for all intents and purposes, look at that. That spinner is attached to this cube from now on. So I just want to push it too. Now, is it permanently? No, because I can pry it off if I want to. If you want to put like E6000 glue instead of doing a sticker, that's fine, but quick and easy. Now, I'll need to get another little sticker to put on the front of the spinner. Put my baby on there, and let me try to center this. Look at that. Isn't that the most awesome thing you've ever seen in your life? Oh, she's a little bit on the top heavy side though. That's the only thing. Because this is going to be on the side, I'm not going to like that. So I'm going to have to kind of readjust my little sticky thing here so that I know what I'm doing as far as making it go the way I want. So hold that thought. Very quick fix. I was just able to kind of pull this off without taking the whole sticker off. And then when it stopped moving, I pushed this on so that it was upwards, you know, the way that you want to look at your pen. And then gave another squeeze. So then when it stops spinning, it should be right side up, because that's how the spinner naturally was when I pushed it the second time onto the sticker. So just be mindful of that. Yay! It stopped exactly where I wanted it to. So be mindful of what position your little spinner is in. I just can't get enough of that. And so therefore, this is my Halloween pen for the rest of my life. So there we go. And then you can write toot, 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 toot. And then if you get really bored and you just want to spin all to your heart's content, you can do it. Yay, me. Now, because I've got a bead in there, it's stopping me on my little contraption here that turns. So you can see it doesn't go all the way down now, the way that the unbeaded pens are. So once you get stuff on your pens, it's going to do different things in each little hole. But I guess because I pulled it out, I'm going to go ahead and do this spookiest of them all. I mean, why not? Okay, so for this example, I think I'm just going to use the clip and show you what that's like. I do happen to have this purple bead. That was handy. So let's do that, shall we? Because we're going to have a little bit of green and orange, so this pen will still suit, but we're going to have some purple too. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Because that clip is going to eat up some of that space, I need to be able to put it up against something. I have to have that flat, so this round bead is blocking that, so I guess I will need to have a cube. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this sticker on the clip, and then I'm going to put the thing onto the back of this, and then this is going to go onto my pen. But I'm afraid if I do this, let me test it. Yeah, it's going to kind of push that out. Alright, so here is this version, and I like the cube idea of putting the acrylic directly onto a cube bead. So if you're kind of on the fence with this style, because I don't like turning the back and then not being able to fill it with like some Hishi beads or something like that. The Hishi beads they have a kind of a big hole, but the ones that I have, the clay ones, they're not big enough to go over this bead bar. So I can't fill up. As far as looking at the back of the pen, most people don't look at the back of the pen, but you know, I'm type A. And then also the way that this went on, because it's kind of weeble wobble in that it does have a gap in how everything sits because of this acrylic, then you're kind of constantly adjusting this part. But when it sits just right, it's cute. So that's the only caveat. Now I do have some bar extenders, and I might start doing that on this clip style, because then, you know, I could afford to have some wasted space. But if it's a pen that's this small, I don't want to have this weeble wobble business if I'm using these types of beads. Okay, I played around a little bit more. This is a little bit more acceptable. I went ahead and put that purple bead back on there because I love how it pulls that purple out from the top. And then I have the spider web, which coordinates with these. But when you turn around on the back, it's still kind of pushing this one back a little bit because of how that acrylic is sitting. And then I need to have this smaller bead as a filler. And then, of course, the top is now hidden behind the mouse ear. So it's a little bit, it's still not perfect. This is something that would probably irritate me a little bit, but I think the workaround for that will be to go ahead and use a cube bead. So I've got a flat surface that I can put this onto, and then there I go. I don't have to worry about it, which means I've got a whole bunch of these little clips that I might not be using now. I think they turned out really cute. There we go. All right, guys, so those are the pens using those acrylics, which I just think are so awesome, especially my little spinny one. That just makes me so happy. So I hope that this has been entertaining to you, because I'm learning as I go here. But I will have to say, I know already, and I knew it would be the minute that I saw one of the other girls using hers. I thought, oh, that's for me, these little spinners. So I've got a ton of those. If you see any of these things as I show you over the next several probably weeks, and you really want it on a spinner, let me know, because I have got a ton of those. I hope you've enjoyed this Spooky Sparkles for 2025, and please be sure to check out everyone else that is part of the collaboration. I have a slide with everyone's names, and I'll have their channels tagged, as well as a playlist. And also, please be sure to go to my main channel at Sparkle by Monica and see that video as well. I have several people that are participating, and I'm so thankful for that, because it's just a lot of fun not to have to do it all by myself. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and share this with any of your friends that love beadable pens, Halloween stuff, strawberry shortcake. I just can't stop it. If you've not already subscribed to my channel or joined our Beading Brigade Facebook group, please do so if you're interested in jewelry making and sharing your tips and tricks and any of your works in progress and all that good stuff. It's a lot of fun to be able to kind of get inspired by one another, and I am trying to build engagement in that Facebook group, so I would appreciate people that actually want to participate. Any of the links below will be my affiliate links, probably to Amazon, and I really appreciate y'all being here. Putting this under the light, and then I'm going to walk into my closet and see what happens if it actually is a little bit of the glow in the dark like it's supposed to be, because it should be. And I think even that bead I've got right there is supposed to be. So let's test it out. I don't think so. I'm not seeing it. I know it's right here. Well, it's not, ladies and gentlemen. But now I got to get out of the closet because I'm getting scared. But look, my Snow White pen is. Oh, I'm so tickled. She's glow in the dark. Woo! Have a spooky, sparkle-rific Halloween, y'all. Bye!